You feel this nervousness on the phone there?
Sir, I've been trying to make an urgent phone call up there.
Well, I don't think it's something I want to do on an overseas phone.
You gotta make some phone calls. Hang up the phone. Prank caller. Prank caller.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Packernet After Dark. This is the call-in show of the Packernet Podcast Network. If you'd like to call in, if you'd like to participate in the show, please feel free to do so. The phone number here is 608-501-0718. New callers go directly to the front of the line. We don't have any new callers today. We've got Kyle calling at 5:58. I think this is the end of the game, if I'm not mistaken, but I guess we'll find out. I'm just stalling for time. Clickety-clickety-click. Here we go. What's up, Kyle?
This is a huge drive, Ryan. This is a huge drive. There's probably the first really great throw of the game. Love puts it on Wicks, convert on a third.
Yeah,
actually,
nice.
pretty good throw, actually, following that to Wicks. Just he couldn't come up with the catch. And then what a run by Jacobs. Looks like we're going to be on about the 6-inch line. So, look, this is 4 runs. I don't care. Just punch this in. You think you got to give this to Jacobs, right? 4 times, punch it in, and then I don't want to jinx it, but if they can do it, they'll only be down 6. Let's go.
Well, that was my thought on that exact situation. Let's not get cute. Let's not do some stupid little passy thing or whatever. Just punch it in.
Let's go, baby. Touchdown, Jacobs. Down by 6. Got the whole quarter left, bro. That stadium's going to pump like you wouldn't believe right now.
I muted that because Google said you swore. I don't know if you did, but just being careful.
Do you want to talk about house money game, man? We were flatline, dead. Everybody's dead on the bench. Everybody's literally in the locker room hurt. That stadium's about to get tight, bro. We have got to just freaking hold the line on defense and give our offense some more shots here because I think you can get the Eagles in it's only a 6-point game. It feels like it should have been 100-0. Mm-hmm. Yeah, here we are. So, holy crap. I mean, yes, at least we made it respectable, but let's finish this game. They're not some invincible force. They're the freaking Eagles, and they're not good. Finish them, man. Finish them off, Pack.
Yeah, so about all that.
All right, man. I've been refraining just because I don't want to get too excited, whatever else. But 3 turnovers, everybody and their mother's hurt, and the fight right now. Sorry, Jacobs just scored a touchdown, but the fight right now is real. And that missed extra point, we're gonna need some luck here, man. But
yeah, and I just want to highlight. I mean, it should be patently obvious to all of us, but what is it that they're describing? Number one, the reason that it's shockingly close, despite the fact that we've been awful, is the defense. And then down the stretch, we had what? We realized that Jaden Reed and Josh Jacobs those are the guys that need to get fed. And also Jordan started playing better. And just like that, here we come. It's just that it's like Minnesota. The second our offense starts showing up, even though it was halfway through the fourth quarter, it's just touchdown, 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 and they almost win the game. My goodness, if you can give a full quarter or even 2 quarters, God forbid, there might be a real talented team here.
we got 15 minutes. We're down 6. Our defense, I feel like, is playing okay. I mean, who am I kidding? Okay, they're playing great, man. Yeah. They got the ball at the 30 after Nixon dropped it, and everything else, man. Like, could we please, just once, win one of these games? Yeah. And I told you about Heath Bar, man. What did I say at the start of the season when he made the team? I think our boy Heath, man, it could be time. It could be time. Come on, it's got to be.
This is why part of me just says I shouldn't take any calls during the game. I think during wins it's good. After losses, it's not as fun.
Ryan, I just can't do it with these refs, man. I mean, they literally just called for nothing on a 15-yard penalty and put them in field goal range. I mean, it's like I just can't. I just can't. I'm sorry. I just can't. I see Barkley looks like he kind of tweaked his leg, whatever. What a help.
Yeah, watch Saquon Barkley, the one of the most injury-prone running backs in the NFL, is healthy all season long, just long enough to beat the Packers twice, and then he goes out. That would just be absolutely our luck, wouldn't it?
Man, what an absolute nightmare. Like, right as Brady's like, that's what, yeah, Jacobs doesn't need to go out of bounds with a 10-yard. He needs to go back in bounds and get hurt. And then after, of course, me and several other people talk nicely about Malik Heath. He just ends the game for us, basically. I mean, maybe there's some more horrific.
To be clear, if you're talking about the touchdown pass to Heath, I don't believe there was any catchable ball there.
Luck in store for us. Pick six, God only knows. This is about the unluckiest game I've ever seen us play. I mean, we certainly didn't do things right, but do you want to just talk about straight up not good luck? Bro.
It's pretty bad.
This must be what in no way am I saying we're this, but man, this must be what it feels like to be like a Vikings fan when, like, no matter what you do, it just goes against you historically. Because it's just like, I don't know. You lose 4, 5, 6 guys that are huge in this game. You miss a field goal, like, that just inexplicably goes wide for no reason. He's never missed. Of course he's never missed one, right? The receiver that's never done anything all freaking year now has done stuff. You know the freaking drill. But just, really unlucky. Really unlucky game, man. And I'm just sick of that. Like, why? Why can't we? What have we done? Like, it's not like we've been getting the breaks all year. I think we've gotten really unlucky in huge spots throughout this year, and it just keeps going. And yeah, this is painful because of just how, I don't know what else you do, man. I don't know. You're gonna lose that many guys. You're gonna lose. I guess Detroit, they're an enigma, but. Yeah, that's sad. I know the tension's going to turn. I don't know, there's 5 minutes left. Game's over. Tension's going to turn to all these injuries. It's just terrible, man. All right. Bye.
Well, that was a sad realization down the stretch, even when we had a chance of winning, it's like, what's the point? I mean, we're not going to have anybody. We're not going to have Jaden Reed. We're not going to have Romeo Dobbs. We're not going to have Christian Watson. I don't know if Josh Jacobs is going to be okay to play. Like, we might not have Elton Jenkins. We lost our center. I just brutal.
So, Arliss, 3 and 4, 6 minutes left in the game. Then runs it up the gut. Full game, probably lost a yard. If in the very next play he puts the ball and lands out of bounds. Problem is the third down call. My problem is the whole game, to be honest. But let's just start there. Heck, LaFleur. I mean, I don't know if Jordan checked into that, and if he did, what the heck, Jordan? Is this team better than the Eagles? Oh, no. No, we do not have the talent to keep up with the Eagles, right? But if we can play a clean game and stop getting in our own damn way, we have a chance to win. Do we do this game, Ryan? We got in our own way. And, there's some just to take away. There's going to be, we were down so many people and so-and-so got injured and we were down to 3 receivers. Got it. Before all of that happened, we're in our own way.
Yeah.
But since all of that happened, we've been in our own way. And the person that I need to see look like they want it doesn't look like he's indifferent about being there. And that's Jordan Love. On the sideline, chilling by himself, not a word, staring into the tablet. Plays, like, I don't know, man. I know not everybody is a visual, vocal leader, but geez, it's the playoffs, man. Give us something. Your decision-making is hot garbage. At least make us believe you want it. I'm going to cuss one here, man. I'm just, man. Go, bye.
Yeah, it broke up a little bit, but I think we all got the general sentiment of it. The passion across the board was pretty appalling. And, I think there were some people that brought the passion and they're really upset. Because he thought everybody was on the same page, you know. Josh Jacobs thought they were all on the same page, and I think, you know, Tucker and Jaden Reed and some of these guys, they believed it. They bought into the hype, and they showed up, and they're looking around. They're like, guys, what are we doing? I thought we had a thing here, and nobody showed up. So that's the way that goes, I guess.
There's the Heath bar play I was asking for. Golly, gotta get those feet down.
Oh, that Heath played. Oh, that was also a terrible pass. I mean, come on, guys. Listen to me. That is so there was a touchdown play to Heath that was uncatchable. Then there was that third down play. He's wide open. Why are you sailing it way over his head and behind him? Just throw it at his freaking hands. I'm not yelling at Heath about that. I'm not. He has to jump way up in the air and catch the pass. I mean, it's just, I feel like all year long we're just victim blaming here. Like, he's the victim of the situation. Like, oh, well, maybe he shouldn't have been wearing that, and that wouldn't have happened. You know what I mean?
Too little, too late. Gosh darn.
Yeah, gosh darn it all. Jersey Mike, I'm sure you've got some gems for us.
Hey Ron, it's Jersey Mike. So we just lost. We just lost it. I feel like. I mean, unless some kind of miracle happens, Malik Heath decides to jump for a ball that really doesn't need to be jumped for too much.
Oh my Lord!
I think that
doesn't need. Don't act like it was a good throw now, Jersey Mike. Oh, come on.
Is where we're missing Romeo Doubs and Christian Watson. And that is brutal. You know, if some kind of miracle happens and we win this game, cool. But like, as of right now, I don't think we can win. And even if we do, it's going to be hard, tough sledding regardless, because this glaring need at receiver that we're kind of seeing. And it's not so much that like the guys in front can't do it. It's just, we haven't had them when we need them. And it's just not there. I mean, it's not good. And the healthy wide receiver has really been kind of atrocious this season. So right there, Christian Watson, Romeo Doubs.
Well, and it's a combination. I mean, it is kind of an element of they can't do it sometimes. That's the problem. They're inconsistent as far as what they give us. You know, Jaden Reed was there half the year for us. I mean, in terms of talent. Dontavian Wicks, I don't think showed up all year. He was the only healthy one, but he didn't feel like really showing up like in a major way. I think Watson was, you know, most of the time was a benefit. Maybe every game just based on what he did as far as manipulating the defense, et cetera, et cetera. And then Romeo Doubs, I mean, he was there half the time as far as talent. Then you add injury on top of it. I mean, if you show up in 50% of the games and you're hurt 50% of the time, you're really only showing up 25% of the time for us. That ain't going to work, man.
Miss Romeo Doubs on that touchdown. That could have been to Heath. And you miss Romeo Doubs and Christian Watson on that out route that Heath should have came down with inbounds on 4th and 2 or 4th and 3 or whatever the heck it was. You know, it's just, that's where you're missing quality receivers. And that's unfortunate. It's not nice. It's not nice to have that. I would be thoroughly appreciative if we get some veteran wide receiver help come the off season.
I agree.
You know what? If Devontae Adams wanted to come on a veteran friendly salary, you know, like, okay, cool. That'd be cool. Have him come in and at least be the guy in the room. You know, and Tay can still really play ball from the slot. I think that, you know, I'd like to see what the heck is going on with Musgrave. Why isn't Musgrave out there? Why isn't Musgrave out there? You know, he's a difference maker. He should have been out there. Once we had Doubs go down, Musgrave shouldn't have come off the field. He should have just been playing receiver, big slot, whatever. I don't get it. That's kind of where my problem is. I have an issue with Matt LaFleur that he doesn't like to adapt extremely fast on the fly, and that is another example of it. He's just going to continue to go to his playbook, continue to do what he was doing, and expect the next man up. Sometimes you've got to change the game plan up because none of the guys are guys that you're playing with. I think Matt LaFleur does a really, really bad job at adapting. He's shown it all season. He's shown it for a lot of his career so far. He doesn't adapt. He doesn't change things up. I mean, he just expects guys to go out there and win games. And Jordan Love can do that, but not when he's got a bunch of guys down and,
Come on. First of all, we have no idea if he's not adapting. We don't know. We don't know what the plan was. We don't know what the plan became. We don't know what he was supposed to do and then what he did do. We have no idea what's going on. Just because the guy that you wanted to play didn't play doesn't mean that he didn't change other things throughout. And then to say that Jordan could get the job done if he just had quality this, that, or the other, you are not watching what's happening on that football field. Jordan is the number one problem. He can't do anything. He can't throw past 10 yards. Literally, the stats are out there. He had some of the worst statistics of a quarterback throwing beyond 10 yards, like going back a long way. He cannot throw accurately, even when he does throw to people. He can't throw decisively. He can't pull the trigger when guys are open. He doesn't make the right decisions. No, I'm sorry. That it's not the case that if we could just give Jordan the tools that everything would be fine. He has the tools. He has the plays. He has wide open guys, and he's not making the plays. Who gives a crap if it's Luke Musgrave or anybody else if the guys are out there getting open and he's not doing it? That touchdown pass was there. He missed the throw. The third down pass was there. He missed the throw. Yes, if you had an elite receiver, they probably make that pass. Why do I need an elite receiver for a basic out route? Why do I need an elite receiver to cover for the mistakes of the guy we just paid $55 million to because he can't make basic throws? I'm not opposed to getting receiver help. I'm opposed to the idea that that is the problem with our passing game. We need wide receiver help for all the other reasons that you listed. The guys are not playing at a high level. They're not playing consistent enough. In other words, it's like some good games, mostly mediocre games, and then probably second most is bad games. And then also they're hurt all the time. But if Jordan doesn't start playing better, it doesn't matter. I have no idea what Matt LaFleur is doing. I don't know. I don't know if what the plan was. I don't know if he changed things. Nobody knows. How would we know if he's adapting or not? I mean, I don't even know the criteria. How would I go back and try to determine, even if I went back and watched every play, what am I looking for to determine whether or not he changed his mind on something and started doing something differently? I have no idea. And the other thing, like I've already said before, the idea that it's super easy to just change your game plan, you understand that you're changing the entire week's worth of preparation. It's gone now. So everything that you do from here on out is something that nobody has practiced and nobody has done anything on. It's not a small thing. It's not just like, well, that didn't work. Let's just throw everything that we spent the entire week doing in the garbage. And again, maybe he did. And by the way, we know he has to adapt on the fly because everybody got hurt. And what do you have to do when people get hurt? You have to put different people in. We had wide receivers go out, and he did adapt and bring people in, and he didn't bring the tight end in. The question is why? You could sit back and say because he's an idiot if you want, but maybe there's a different reason. I don't know. The thing is, we're trying to blame things that we can't see rather than just blaming the thing that is right in front of our eyes that we can see. Jordan Love played bad. Well, maybe Matt LaFleur was supposed to do something, and then he went in his playbook and he called like a run pass, and he should have, well, maybe we should have run more screens, and maybe we should have played more under center, and maybe there should have been more play action, and maybe he should have changed the way he played things, and maybe he should have manicured his eyebrows differently, or maybe Jordan Love should throw the effing ball where it's supposed to go because he's one of the highest paid quarterbacks in football. I'm not going to baby the frickin' guy. He can't throw a pass accurately. Oh, I'm sorry that our fifth string receiver is not Justin Jefferson. You know what? Maybe that's where we rely on our quarterback to help out these guys. Your number 1, 2, and 3 receiver are out. Maybe help these guys out a little bit. We want the quarterback to make it easier on the receivers. You're asking a fifth string receiver to make it easier on your quarterback? If Jordan throws a better ball on third down, he catches it. If Jordan throws a better ball for that touchdown pass, it would have been caught. The touchdown pass wasn't caught because it wasn't catchable. The third down pass was caught, but he didn't get his feet down because he had to jump up in the air and catch it for who knows what reason. Why put the ball way up there? You could lip read on the touchdown pass. What did Matt LaFleur say? You all saw it. It was there. It was there, he said. in frustration, knowing that was it. You had the pass. The play was there to be made, and you freaking dirted it. I don't want to make up excuses anymore when there's an obvious issue right in front of our face, and I'm definitely not going to say, well, we know Jordan could do it if he just had this. Why? What evidence do we have that Jordan could do anything? Based on the last 3 games? What, are we going to blame the receivers for him not being able to throw to wide open guys? To not be able to throw accurately for 3 weeks? What, because if he had a better receiver, it would just have some kind of gravitational pull that would change the trajectory of the ball? I mean, we're just making stuff up. I don't understand this.
Yeah, sure as I can. So, I don't expect this game to be won. I expect us to come out and make some moves this offseason, though. We have some money to play with. We got to do something with it. Anyway, go Pack, go.
There's a call somebody made. I don't know what. I think I saved it, so we'll maybe do it tomorrow. But it was a pretty good call, kind of just going through the thought process. You know, we had mentioned. How the heck did that all go now? There was one of those things where it's like Gutekunst did not do this right in terms of like it didn't turn out right, but you understand why it went. I think it was paying Rodgers, honestly, is what it was. Like so you draft Jordan because Rodgers is just not going well. The team is falling apart. Rodgers is old. Rodgers isn't playing well. He's getting injured all the time. He's got an attitude problem, et cetera, et cetera. So you go get Jordan. That makes perfect sense. Then the guy wins back-to-back MVPs. Okay, whoops-a-daisy. I guess I was a little premature on that, right? Well, now your back's up against the wall. What are you going to do? Well, you got to pay him. He just won back-to-back MVPs. You got to pay him, and he's going to put you up against the wall. Okay, so you pay him. And then he falls apart, and he doesn't play very well. And now you look like an idiot again. And it's like, well, what the heck was he supposed to do? It's the same with Jordan, right? We shouldn't have paid him. He didn't have an option to not pay him. It's not an option. You pay him based on what he showed you, and what he showed you was elite quarterback play. So I feel like this is the way that it's been going for him. Every time he makes a decision, the opposite thing happens. And I think with this whole young team thing, and this is the case that the caller made, that again, I'll try to remember to do, it wouldn't be tomorrow, but I'll record it tomorrow for the next day. You have this extremely young team. And the idea is you don't know what they're going to become. And so you want to let these guys develop. I mean, and that was the problem I even said going into the draft. What do? You don't know what you have or don't have. And so you give everybody a shot. You give Reed a shot. You give Wicks a shot. You give Dobbs a shot. You give Watson a shot. You give Tucker and Musgrave a shot. You give all these people a chance. How many people really rose to the occasion? Reed is a great receiver, assuming they're playing almost all zone. If they're playing man, he'd just bench him. Wicks doesn't feel like being here anymore. Dobbs literally doesn't feel like being here anymore. And suffered a second concussion, so, got that to figure out. Watson, I know it's not his fault, but the guy has spent almost his entire rookie career on, IR. Musgrave hurt second year in a row, so we never got to see him play. Tucker, I like Tucker. He's very good. He gets to stay. Is he Travis Kelce? No. Is he ever going to be Travis Kelce? Probably not, but he's a nice piece to have. Sean Ryan, give him a shot. Did he step up? He did not. Josh Myers, he gets another shot. Did he step up? No, he did not. To make matters worse, you drafted an offensive lineman. He got hurt. You didn't get to see him. You drafted a running back. You gave him a shot. He got hurt. He didn't get to see him. So the point is, I think we gave this whole youth movement a chance to prove that we don't need to bring in all these veterans because there was a lot of talent. Seemingly, like this is first, second year guys, and they're really good as it is. Look at the way they ended last year. It was shockingly good. I think, and we'll see, but I think Gutekunst learned that, again, you kind of go in a direction and it blows up in your face, and then you say, screw it, and you go in another direction. It's not to say you give up on all these guys necessarily, but I'm not going to sit back and wait for Wicks and Reed and Watson and Dobbs to finally make this big step into elitehood, or Musgrave or anybody else. Whether it's injuries or bad play or drops or whatever, it doesn't matter. The bottom line is you had your chance, you didn't capitalize, which means I don't have to pay you now a massive contract, which means I get to pay somebody else a massive contract. So the point is, I think that we're going to. And I think we should. I think that call made a lot of sense. I do think that that's probably the way Gutekunst is going to look at it, especially now that we have a ton of money. We know, unlike Ted Thompson, he's not afraid to throw money around. And I think that we are going to start to see that. And honestly, if you also look at it, who are some of the best pieces on this team? Josh Jacobs and Xavier McKinney. And I'm not going down the, well, it's because they were free agents and not drafted route. That's not what I mean. The point is, you brought in guys that had a right kind of attitude and a right kind of talent. You brought in leaders in a sense, and it really did help. We could probably use a couple more. We need to find guys that have that similar kind of mentality, which is why I know we're not going to get Tyreek Hill. That's not the point. It's not the fact that he runs fast and all that kind of stuff. That's not entirely what we need. We need guys like Josh Jacobs and Xavier McKinney because they bring a certain element of this is the expectation and you will do it or you don't belong here. And there are guys out there that are like that. I mean, honestly, Devontae does fit that role. We know that he does. I mean, that was his mentality all along. It was, you know, I've been to this crap so many times. I've been to the playoffs. It's not special to me anymore. Like, I'm here to win it. That's it. I'm not going to celebrate like the regular season, blah, blah, blah. Like, I'm here to win a Super Bowl. Now, do I think that that's going to happen? No, but the point is, I think that's the focus. We got the draft. We're obviously going to utilize the draft. We're going to do the best we can with the draft. But we have a lot of money, and I think we have an opportunity here because although we have some talent, nobody really stepped up into that role to say, hey, I'm the guy that deserves the massive contract. Beyond that, all the guys that got the massive contract, almost none of them have stood up and said, I deserve the contract. So now you're looking at it saying, we got to start getting rid of these guys, which means we have a massive vacuum. It's hilarious listening to Bears fans talk about, oh, you ruined your franchise with Jordan. First of all, we don't know that Jordan's not going to be a good quarterback, so that's stupid. Yes, I'm hard on the guy, but I'm not saying I don't know that he's going to be. I'm just don't like excuses, that's all. But beyond that, we have so much money. Jordan's contract hasn't really fully hit, and even if it did, we're not paying anybody else, and the guys that we are paying are leaving. If not this year, the next year, very soon. We paid Jair. He was hurt all the time. Might be some more to it beyond that. I think we're done with that. Kenny, I think it's run its course. Again, I don't know if it's this year, next year, the year after. Don't know. Doesn't matter. He is not much more of a long-term deal, I don't think. I think they like him as a leader. He's got that whole thing, but, you know, doesn't really need to have that kind of a contract. Which, I mean, at this point, it's probably not even that big of a contract. But still. Rashawn, I'm hopeful, fingers crossed, but the way things have been going, why expect anything, you know? Anyways, I took a phone call, and I'm watching the football game, and so I don't remember what the heck we were talking about, but this is a really good start for the Rams, and please, 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 please keep this up. We're going to take one break, because I got a little ranty there. Jersey Mike always gets me going. I appreciate that, Jersey Mike. And we'll come back, and we'll just do the thing. We'll be right back.
Hey, what's up, Lawrence Harless again? Hey, I promise, last call of the night. Just want to say this after Slade threw down Barkley for no reason, just completely wasting, you know, the drive, match, timeout, and everything. Were we going to lose the game anyways? Yeah, probably. But still, it's principalities, man. You close out the game, right? I'm looking at LaFleur, and I'm looking at T.J. Slayton screaming at LaFleur,
bro,
making excuses. Like, what I see when I see LaFleur and I look at this undisciplined team, all season undisciplined team, I see a parent that doesn't have control of their kids. I'm not saying the players are kids, but you know what I mean. I see that kid that comes to play with your kid, who you know that kid doesn't know how to act, and their parents have no control over them, and you don't really want them around your kid. That's kind of how I see this team. I see Matt LaFleur as probably a great parent, you know, like a great offensive mind. You know, how you can be a great parent, smart parent, loving parent, affectionate parent, present parent, but you could also lack something. You could also lack being that authoritarian. Oh my God, I can't even talk. I'm so angry. But you could lack that. And I kind of see LaFleur as just great X's and O's. Well, I don't even know if I want to say great. He's an X's and O's guy. Seems like he'd be a great coordinator. He seems like a smart football guy overall, you know, better than most of the head coaches in his league, but he has no control over this team. None. I mean, none. The amount of penalties that we get almost each and every game, the lack of discipline.
Well, let's take it one step at a time, because the penalties are a problem and there is a discipline problem, but I think we're talking about different things. I can't 100% put it on Matt LaFleur. It does get to the point with some things where you go, I don't know where else to put it. So the play calling, I think, is fine. That's my opinion based on what I've watched. The discipline and the inability to get up for games concerns me. Now, it does tend to be more of a locker room thing. Does the coach drive the locker room? I mean, look at Detroit. Obviously, the head coach kind of leads that. That may not be the case everywhere, though. I don't know. I know the Packers have always said so I don't remember exactly what they say, but it's something different. Essentially, it's a player-led locker room or something. I don't know, dude. I don't know all of that stuff. I have always kind of been of the mind that Matt LaFleur is a certain type of person, and he's never going to be a different type of person. And, everybody has their goods and their bads, and you can't fire everybody just because, I'm not saying you're saying to fire them, I'm just throwing it out there. Matt LaFleur has certainly got some flaws. I'm not entirely sure which ones are his fault and which ones aren't. One of the things that I had just said is, in his defense, we can't see anything, so we don't know that he's to blame. But also, on the other side, we can't see. So it might be a ton of issues with Matt LaFleur, and maybe the guys hate him. And, there's maybes that go in both directions. I don't know is the only reason why I can't super comment on it. And the only things I can see, I tend to like. As far as the Slayton thing, look, first of all, that happens all the time and never in Green Bay. I have not seen anybody else yell at Matt LaFleur like that. I see that all the time across the NFL, so I don't think it's a big problem here in Green Bay, and I don't know that it's related to the other things that we're talking about. That's why I stopped it, because I see it as two different things. It's kind of like a bunch of other things we've talked about. I don't want to take one instance and pretend it's been happening all year when it's literally the only time I've ever seen it. I think for me, the biggest thing is how do you handle it moving forward? He made a stupid mistake. Matt LaFleur chewed him out. He fought back. That can't be tolerated. In the moment, should Matt LaFleur have hauled off and just jacked the guy? No. He'd have got the crap beat out of him. But, there does need to be, it's not a matter of who can scream louder, right? It's not a screaming contest. It's a matter of there will be an expectation of how you act around here. And if you don't do that, you're going to go. Now, one of the things, and again, this is all speculation, I don't know this, but if we want to go down a anti-Matt LaFleur pathway, here's a speculation. One of the things that I keep noticing is it feels like every year we're purging bad actors. Every year it's oh, this person was toxic and they had to go, and then these people became toxic and they had to go, and these people became, it's Za'Darius, and then it's potentially Rasul, and it's Jair, and it's whatever. Now it seems like Keyshawn maybe is having some problems. Maybe it's just a whole bunch of DBs that were DBs. I don't know. But maybe there is something. He's too lax, or I don't know. I don't know any of that, and I would just be making things up, pretending that I did. But for every TJ Slayton, you've got Josh Jacobs, Zach Tom, Xavier McKinney. As far as I know, I mean, I guess I don't know everybody, but it seems to be a lot of guys that show up and do the work. Rashawn Gary, whether you like their play or not, as far as their discipline and how they act and how they go about their business. So even if we assume Slayton's a scumbag and Jair's a scumbag and Keyshawn's a scumbag, just assume the absolute worst. Okay, I mean, in a locker room full of guys, I mean, I don't know if you've ever been in a locker room before. In a locker room full of guys, 3 of them aren't going to be the most likable. And so maybe this is a Packers thing. Maybe it's a Matt LaFleur thing. Maybe it's a Gutekunst thing. Maybe it's a locker room culture thing. Maybe it's a thing that every single locker room has to deal with. Maybe it's not even a thing and we're just kind of making it up and it's not that big of a deal. So on the Slayton thing, I don't see that as being a bigger thing. In fact, I don't think we ever really see that, despite the fact that, again, I see that all over the NFL. As far as the rest of the discipline and the rest of the guys not getting up and possibly locker room toxicity issues or whatever, for me, it's a maybe. I don't know. And I don't know how we bridge the gap between I don't know and learning something.
As a head coach, I just don't see the preparation for how the majority of the games of this season, there was a lack of preparation. Right. And I know people want to be positive. And I know you, Ryan, you're a very logical, fair person. You like to play both sides of the argument. I appreciate that. But when I watch the Packers play the majority of the games this season, even some of the games they won, there's an eye test, right? Sometimes it's just an eye test. And you just look and you just see man, this team just doesn't
seem like they got it. Right? They seem like they're missing something. And when I look at the Packers, I just see a lack of discipline, a lack of concentration. And
I'll say this. I think it shifted from mostly a discipline, concentration, whatever issue to an execution issue. It's not 100%. It was both throughout the year. But early in the season, I don't know that there was as much execution issues as constant. And, you can call it both, but let's just assume things like drops you're not good enough. It's something that you've done 1,000 times. It's a very basic thing you know how to do, right? Not knowing where to line up and all that kind of stuff. Way more penalty issues, way more just complete brain fart issue. Even Jordan. Jordan was like that pick six. It's not a talent thing. That's just a what are you doing thing. Oh, my Lord, Stafford just threw the ball to the other. I can't do this, man. You can't just take a sack. You got to go throw the ball on the ground and give up 7 points. You're the better team. I'm going to cry, dude. I can't handle this. Tell me that wasn't 7 points. I got it muted, but they're acting like it's not. I don't. Oh, they're going to say he tried to pitch it? Well, I guess it would be intentional grounding if that was the case. Whatever. I can't deal with this, dude. The Rams are going to give this freaking game away.
When it hits the ground, it's incomplete.
Bro, I swear.
They're going to take a look at this.
If they don't overrule this, if they don't overrule that, then the refs are just. This isn't even like a reffing issue. This is a the football gods hate the Packers issue. I can't, dude. I'm so sick of football. Oh, incomplete, and they didn't even call it intentional grounding. They said so and so was in the area. So that was just straight incompetence. All right, I'm sorry. I'm back. I'm here. We're ready. That's my feeling on things. Early on, it was a lot of mistakes and a lot of luck. I don't think they were like as good on defense, but they were lucky. And then on offense, they were stupid. It's just penalties and everything else. The end of the year, I thought the defense was solid. It was a very, very good football team. Special teams, aside from the last 2 games of fluky bullcrap, real solid. Offense, even if you get down to it, what was the offensive line was great. The running backs were great. The tight ends were great. The receivers did have drops, but not as bad as early in the season. The numbers for drops went down by, let's call it about half. Oh boy, there goes the Vikings coach screaming. Well, this guy, I tell you what, he has no control over his emotions. He is just a whiny crybaby. I tell you what, this guy, he should be fired. It's taking me forever to get through this. I got to stop watching this game. The second half of the season was a lack of execution, and as I've said 1,000 times, it's largely on the quarterback. There were some discipline issues, but how many penalties were there? There were 2 boneheaded penalties by the defense, and they were stupid penalties in terms of being too jacked up, which I don't like. It's stupid. It's whatever, but it's in a different category than what I would call like not knowing how to line up. I honestly think there's a lot of reasons to be encouraged by this team down the stretch because almost everything was working except the ability to pass. And you can say it was the passing game wasn't working, but as far as I'm concerned, everything else was great. And no, I'm not flustered by one missed field goal kick. So whether it's because we need Jordan to get healthy, whether it's because Jordan and Matt LaFleur need to get on the same page. I saw Christian Watson's dad say that the issue is because they don't pass enough and so they couldn't get into a rhythm. Maybe, right? I don't know. I assume that anything Christian Watson's dad is saying is potentially coming from Watson, but maybe not. I don't know if he talks to his dad about this stuff, but maybe that is the perception of the offensive players of why they're not doing well enough. Maybe they need a number 1 wide receiver, but whatever the reason is, we'll leave the reason aside. I don't know that discipline was as big of an issue down the stretch. I liked almost everything about the team except it couldn't pass, and that's why we lost. If our passing game stayed as good as it was prior to these last 3 weeks, we win those last 3 weeks easily. We would beat the Vikings, maybe not super easily, but we definitely beat the Vikings, probably comfortably. Beat the Bears, give me a break. And, Philadelphia couldn't do anything against our defense. And the little bit of time we could pass, we cut right through them. So I don't want to just chalk this up to the whole team fell apart and is undisciplined and everything else. I mean, obviously that's a thing. But again, just keep coming back to the one. If they could pass, would we be talking about any of this? If they could complete a forward frickin' pass, would we be talking about any discipline issues, any kind of issues whatsoever? No, we wouldn't. Matt LaFleur would be a genius. He should be coach of the year. All praise Gutekunst. This team is unstoppable. We're going to win a Super Bowl. It's all that. We can't pass, and now it's like, well, everything is terrible. I don't think so. That's one of the issues I keep seeing with all the discussions online is everything is from 30,000 feet. Everything is just big, sweeping, like there's a culture issue. Let's zoom in a little bit. What exactly is the problem? What is the problem? Do you not think we can run the ball? Okay, we can. Do you think we can pass block? Because we can, okay? Do you like what we did on defense? Okay. Do you like our kicker? Do you like our punter? So when we get to, we're process of elimination, we're kind of zooming in. Do you like our tight ends? Okay. You probably don't like the wide receivers, and I'm assuming it's because you think that they can't get open, even though they are, but that's fine. Or they can't stay healthy or whatever the case may be. Fine. But that is the issue. So, winning fixes everything. And I think in this case, passing fixes everything. Take the offseason, figure out what's going on, fix it, and I think it's going to be a good football team. If you can't, and if Jordan can't complete a pass beyond 10 yards, we're not going to the playoffs next year. Because, as I've said a billion times, this team will go as far as Jordan will take us. And I hate to oversimplify and everything, but that is exactly the case that we're dealing with.
Those things I attribute to the head coach, because if nothing else, your job is to set the program, set the tone, right?
Yeah.
Place the emphasis on the little things.
Yeah, I agree.
And if nothing else, people should know their assignment. They should know the do's and don'ts. They should be disciplined.
And again, as far as I know, they all do. Jordan just can't throw to the open guy. The receivers are in the right spot. The offensive line's doing the right thing. As far as I know, everybody's doing a great job. The tone, maybe not so much. Maybe the energy and all that. But even maybe the energy's fine. The energy starts to dip when, the defense is doing well and it just doesn't do anything and your receivers are running routes and you turn around and it's like, whatever. Yeah, it's going to start to dip. But again, even if we zoom in on that, who's not doing the right thing here? In this particular game, yeah, Zach Tom was super disappointing. That sucked. But it wasn't even like pressure was that big of an issue in this game. So as much as I'm disappointed that big guys didn't have big games, I don't know. I think if we really zoom in on it, there's like one issue. It's a big one, but it's one issue. And I don't want to make it a huge issue where it's like we can't overcome this because there's this massive, like, Matt LaFleur doesn't know how to lead people. And so guys are never going to be motivated, which is, if that's the problem, we don't have the right guys anyways. But they're these guys that by default are miserable people that never liked football and don't want to be here, and they need somebody to drag their sorry butt into the realm of caring. And Matt LaFleur can't do that, and so now we're screwed. I don't know.
And with this team, it's just a hot mess, man. It's a hot mess. And I'm genuinely questioning if we can win a Super Bowl with LaFleur. And I'm not just saying it because of this game. I'm thinking about the whole season. I don't know.
You idiot.
He's a great coach. We can definitely get to the playoffs.
Running into the punter. Frickin'. You stupid bastard, man.
Every year, but I don't know if we can ever make it to the big game. And also with Jordan.
Well, he got cut off there, but again, maybe, but again, I don't know. I don't know what to say to that. You would have to be able to prove something that's unprovable. So I don't know what to say about that 1st and 10, man. Again, the Rams are going to give them this game. Whatever, it doesn't matter. It's just destined to be a miserable game. It's going to be Vikings, Lions in the NFC Championship. One of those two is going to go on. They're going to win a Super Bowl. I can just tell. I can just absolutely freaking tell. But I don't know, dude. The team was a mess. I don't know if the team was a mess. I thought the defense was great. I thought the offensive line did a good enough job. I thought the tight ends, and I mean, I didn't go back and look as far as the wide receivers and everything that they did. I can, but I have no reason to believe it's going to be any different than every other time I looked at it. So if the receivers are doing what they're supposed to do, the tight ends are supposed to be doing what they're supposed to do, the offensive line's doing what it's supposed to do, the entire defense is doing what it's supposed to do. The kicker missed one freaking kick all year. I think we're building in a very, very good direction, and our quarterback just completely fell off a cliff. I think everything got real good, and the most important piece just went to zero. If that's not the case, fine, but I mean, the problem all of you guys are going to have is none of you can prove any of this to me. None of you can prove any of this to me. There's no way to do it. It's an impossible task. There's no metric for coaches' motivation behind the scenes. Oh, finally they got a pick. Thank you, Darnold, for being a piece of trash. But anyways, I mean, the best I can say is maybe. I don't know. All I do know is if we do get rid of Matt LaFleur, I don't know if, number one, I don't know if that was even a problem, so I certainly don't know if it can get fixed. Number two, if it is a problem, I have no way or reason to believe that the next guy is going to be able to fix it. Are we not going to call that running into the kicker? And number three, I am very, very confident that our offense will go down significantly. So, I can't make that leap. Maybe if everything else I felt like wasn't working, you know, if Josh Jacobs came here and was playing worse than what we'd seen in other places, opposed to having one of his best years, you know, Xavier McKinney came over here. I understand that we have a different defensive coordinator, but it goes to the whole culture, right? Xavier McKinney came over here, all pro. I don't see a lot of guys coming here and just falling apart and coming into this terrible toxic culture and just playing poorly and everything else. It seems like the guys that we brought in that have a really strong work ethic, mentality, whatever, they come in here, they perform, and they're going to be staying, and some other people are going to be going. But I don't see a lack of motivation from a lot of people. I see a lack of motivation from a couple people. And some of them are going to go, and one of them got paid $55 million a year and isn't going anywhere. I hear he's got a baby on the way, though. Is that Brooke told me that? How did I not know that, by the way? I know he got married, and apparently she's pregnant, so got to ask the female fans for this kind of information. My wife probably knows that. I don't even know this stuff. By the way, congrats to Jordan. My disdain for your play on the field the last few days aside, very happy for you. Anyways, I'm all fired up and ranty and being kind of a douche, and I'm half watching a football game anyway, so I should probably just get out of here and we'll try this again tomorrow. You guys have a good rest of your night. I will talk to you later. Have a good one. Bye-bye.